Antonio.
San Antonio, how are we doing today?
Welcome to All Things San Antonio podcast. Your host and favorite realtor, Brad Burns, and
second favorite host and realtor, Ken Carter. And we have a special guest like we always do. We have, I don't know if it's like your real name, Michael Ray. I just call you Michael Ray. Is your last name actually Ray?
Yeah, Ray, R-A-Y.
See,
Mike Ray.
It's one of those things like I call you your full name.
Yep.
That's probably by a lot.
I call you Ken Carter. So I call your brother Ray Carter.
Which one do you like better?
Ken. I'm just kidding.
It's funny.
I'm just
Hey,
kidding.
Joey's
It
the only
depends
one
on where
that
we're
watches
at,
the
honestly.
podcast, so.
It depends on where we're at.
Joey is and he's going to be loved being mentioned in the podcast already.
If we're on the golf course, I like Joey better, for sure.
That's okay. Y'all play different,
Good.
huh?
Good.
Y'all have too much fun playing golf. I like it a little bit more. Because it's funny. So we get into it. So Mike is a professional golf pro, teaching pro.
Yeah, golf coach.
Golf coach. He's my golf
Pretty
coach.
simple.
He's getting me to scratch.
One day.
So it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah. Well, it is a struggle when you show up once every 3 months. But
That's all right.
Shooting shots.
But we're talking
right
about
across the bow, baby.
Yeah.
That's what a coach does. You just tell people the truth.
Yeah.
You know, you just keep pushing them toward what they need to do. Right.
And it's good because the way that you teach and what is like, it's makes it easier for me to understand. I think a lot of people I think a lot of people are more like us and like me. Like you really need to see it, the visual. Sure. Like the old way of coaching, where you didn't have cameras and you didn't have little digital lines on there, and you didn't know what your face was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When someone keeps saying it's like, okay, you need to do this, and you're like, but that's what I'm doing, but your body is not doing anything near what.
But you think you are.
Yeah, you think you are.
And what's that is based on kind of what you're feeling. And so people trust that what they're feeling is what's actually happening. And then when you measure what they're actually doing, outside of them, that's something that doesn't rely on their feelings.
Feelings will lie to you.
Feelings are not facts, right? They're just feelings. And when you measure it and then you show them, use a video camera to measure, use motion sensors to measure, and then you show them what actually happened versus what they felt, there's a chasm there that when you start helping people cross, now all of a sudden they're actually making changes that are fruitful and show something, right? But just telling someone what to do is not quite enough. Just giving someone some directions is not quite enough. There has to be a little bit more depth and a little bit more detail, and then some follow-up like guided practice, over time. There's just an organic component to the learning process that you can't get around.
So let's go back, because we usually start with everybody. We ask them the same thing. It's like, how did you get to San Antonio?
Yeah.
Like you're not. I know already. You're not a San Antonio native.
Yeah.
What's your background? Because it does relate to this, and kind of bring it in there, because you kind of started at golf when this technology stuff really kind of started.
Yeah. It's kind of a cool story. I think I hit it right at the perfect time
in Florida.
In Florida, right? So, my dad was in the Air Force brat.
That's me. See, that's how I got to San Antonio.
And so I didn't really get here vis-a-vis, Air Force per se, but kind of. But long story short, I went to college in Florida, and my dad was basically retiring when I was down in Florida, and he ended up moving to New Braunfels was living with my stepmom. And then after I finished college and I went to, I started doing the golf thing in Florida. Eventually, I just decided that I had enough of Florida and I wanted to come to Texas. And my dad convinced me to move out here. And it was way cheaper to live in he was living in New Braunfels. So I kind of had, do I go live in Austin or do I go live in New Braunfels? So this was 2011, I think, 2010. Okay. I've been here like 17, 18 years, 16 years, whatever. And
it's crazy to think that 2011, 2010 is that long ago.
That far back, right?
That was 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Buddy, I mean, I look at my kids and I'm like...
And the crazy...
I still remember the doctor's name, when we were just in the hospital yesterday. What do you mean?
Yeah, my daughter's 10 and she did volleyball for the first time yesterday. And I was sitting there, I told Ken, I got soft because I was sitting there. I was like tearing up, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
what in the world?
Oh yeah, I took two of mine to breakfast this morning, and 12-year-old daughter. We went to the mall, and she's just like, I want to go get this moisturizer and da 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 da. I'm like, your skin's as moist as it's ever gonna. What do you mean? You need $30 lotion,
You didn't even
sweetheart.
dry out yet.
Oh. I don't think there's much to tone there, darling.
Let's get out in the sun a little more.
Yeah. So anyway, we went there for moisturizer.
That's hilarious.
And Starbucks, of course.
Boy, girls
but
can
yeah.
wrap you around the finger, man.
Yeah, and so I was going to college in Florida, and I was going to engineering school. I kind of hated it. Started sort of skipping school to play golf all the time, and then my dad was. I ended up being able to kind of use my dad's GI Bill to go to like a golf school there. It was like a trade school, like an HVAC school, but for the golf industry per se. And through that sort of avenue, I kind of found out that I had like this passion for trying to understand the mechanics of ball flight and how the movements of the swing correlate to the overall ball flight and the predictability. That whole process, I think my engineering brain sort of jumped into that. I was way more interested in that than learning how to code.
Yeah.
Right. And now that we have AI, I'm pretty happy that I don't know anything.
Kind of
about
worked
coding.
out, huh?
I'm not gonna lie. I would just get an agent, a coding agent bot, right? AI bot right now if I needed to code something. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So anyway,
I just went down that path for an app that we're trying to do for some of our employees, and it was crazy because all of a sudden it was like somebody had already did what I was trying to do, and I was like, God dang it, that's such wasted time. It's like I'm not even good at using an agent to code. Like,
sure, yeah, I'm not either. I'm not either. Obviously, there's more to it than just like, hey, make me this. But it's a lot more accessible than anything else these days, and it's only getting easier by the day.
For sure.
But anyway, I was in Florida, and then my dad was here in New Braunfels, and I came out and ended up kind of staying in San Antonio, and that's when I got a job teaching golf at Golf Tech when I was at like 19, 20, and basically I've been full-time coaching ever since then. I was with them for like 7 years, and then I went off to Top Golf for a little while, and then did my own thing for a little while, and then honestly, Golf Tech just has some of the best premier facilities and the absolute top-notch like system, the follow-up, the back end, the support, the communication system, the CRM, everything is all tied together and gives Golf Tech this like competitive advantage like no one else, and allows me to show up to work and just focus on teaching golf and being really good at my job, and then going home and hanging out with my kids. Yeah. That's the best opportunity that I sort of realized, because I just did the entrepreneurial thing for myself. And while you could look at a spreadsheet and be like, oh, I have a pretty good hourly, like you're not really accounting a lot of times for all that admin and all that extra, for every hour of lessons I'm selling, I'm putting in 30 minutes or an hour of work, running the ads and finding the people and getting the leads and the communications and da-da-da-da-da. And I was sort of a one-man band, and I have ADHD, and I'm just not interested in that side of the business and doing that. And, the combo of being able to kind of teach golf over there and do my thing. And I have all these people from my Instagram and from San Antonio that hit me up because I've been teaching here for the last 15, 16 years that come in on their own. And then also, Golf Tech drives a lot of, reasonable leads as well. So it's like an awesome situation right now.
That's good. That's awesome. So what are your thoughts? Is like we're talking about Brad's just now starting.
Yeah.
I was the dumbass that didn't take lessons for forever, decades after playing and just trying to force the ball down the course and everything. Like, what do you think of how much of an advantage is it to someone to start with lessons from the get-go as a beginner compared to just going out there and learning?
If we could presuppose that they're quality lessons that are, good information, and not just some guy who, is reasonably good at golf just telling you how he does it, right? If it's actually taught by a pro in kind of a structured way, I think it's a massive advantage. It flattens the learning curve a lot, right? Because we kind of remove a lot of the trial and error. There is still like an organic sort of time component to the process that you cannot get around. The analogy is like learning how to play an instrument versus or learning how to going to the gym and the results you get from that. It's kind of one of those activities where you just show up and you put in the consistency every single day, and then sometime in 3 months, 6 months, you do something that you know that you cannot do 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one day you just walk into the gym and you put in a set or a rep or you run a mile time that you could never do before, and it's only because of all of the reps that you were putting in before, right?
You can't skip the work part.
You can't skip the work part, but you can make it a lot more efficient and a lot more precise and a lot more focused, and kind of tuning into that requires some amount of a priority system, some amount of a systematic way that you look at a situation. Everyone's situation is different, but it all kind of involves the same ingredients when it comes to golf. The physics and the geometry of it, the mechanics of it doesn't change, right? It's just like the amounts of the different things that go into it, right? So it's the amount of the different ingredients that go into the chocolate cake. Everyone has the flour and the sugar and the butter and the eggs. The really good players have the proper amounts of those ingredients, right? And they're cooking it for the right time and the right temperature, so they actually get a chocolate cake. Whereas other people play golf, but they do it, their swings have all the wrong ingredients, so it's still a chocolate cake, but it doesn't taste good. It doesn't work very well, but it's still chocolate cake, and some people are happy with that.
Yeah.
And some people want like the really good chocolate cake, and they work hard to. And that is really the process of like getting better at golf. It's working to remove the extremity of the catastrophe of bad shots, because good shots are really hard to make better, but bad shots are a lot easier to improve in a large sample size. So
Except getting off the tee, except the drive.
yeah, again, like you, I think that but partly is the expectation that like our goal with the driver is to put it in play, within a 50 or 60 yard wide window, right? So really, in my opinion, the farther you're hitting the ball with the club, the more we're just trying to curve the ball a certain way and not double cross ourselves. We're not trying to hit it dead straight 260. We can hit it really straight with a sand wedge.
Yeah.
Right? But it's way easier to just hook one every single time or slice one every single time and just to put it in play. That is way more important than it is to hit it high, dead straight rope down the middle of the fairway every single time. Because that's impossible.
Yeah.
Right? On the PGA Tour, I was looking up the stats the other day. For a 5 handicap, the amount of strokes required to hole out on average from 100 yards is 3.18. Okay? So essentially, I don't know, 1 out of every 10 tries, they're making a bogey, right, for a 5 handicap?
Yeah.
Like 3.18 or something. A 5 handicap from 200 yards is like 3.68. It is a half a stroke more, right? But they have an extra 100 yards into the green. You lose way more than half a stroke if you hit the ball out of bounds. Yeah. Way more. So you could lose 100 yards on all of your tee shots as long as they're in play and advanceable, and your score would go down the difference between that half shot and whatever you would lose by hitting it out of bounds, which is a full shot to a half full, 2-shot penalty a lot of times, because people's follow-up shots are not great anyway. It's a whole thing. Don't get me started on it. But yes, good information, a good feedback process, a good way to put in good time will significantly flatten the learning curve. Can you do it through trial and error? Yes. Is it the most efficient way? In my opinion, no. I don't know if that answers it, but
Absolutely.
yeah. I just tell people they should learn as much as they can and then take as much or as little as they want, right? Kind of make it your own process, but just try to make your decisions based on something that is factually accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Time and task, doing the right thing.
Yeah. Have a reason. Have a reason for
We
it.
were talking about Top Golf, like they have that summer program thing where it's like get you a lot of access and everything. And Brad was talking. People were saying, "Oh, that's not real golf." And it's like, but the thing is, especially as a new guy, if you're just working on the mechanics of your swing, it's just as good a place to get time and task as anywhere else.
Well, the other thing too, and again, I have some professional experience working for Top Golf, right? 90% of the people who walk through their door are not golfers, have no connection to the game of golf. And they're still pulling in all these people. I mean, it really is a food and beverage venue with golfer entertainment, right? But they do it on a massive scale, and they're introducing golf to this whole new sector of people that are like, holy crap, it's really fun to hit this little white ball. Because at that level, at Topgolf, the whole point is just to swing this kind of crappy club at this kind of crappy golf ball and hit it and do it as many times as you want, right? And, golf is one of those things that you kind of just need a lot of reps at when you first start. Obviously, the better you can make those reps, the more specific you can make it, can kind of help out a lot. But just in general, you kind of need lots of reps, and you have to spend a lot of time in that first year hitting golf balls. If you wanted to learn how to play guitar, just because you know what the notes are and you know what the scales are and you know what the strings mean, just because you know how to play the song doesn't mean it's going to sound good, right? There's the sound of the song of someone who's been doing it for 20 years. It's more than sort of the sum of its pieces. Even though someone who's been playing that song for 1 year might be playing the same notes, it doesn't sound the same, right? There's some sort of extra layer of depth and detail to the way that the guy that's really good plays it, even though fundamentally it's written as the same notes on the page. You know what I mean? And that difference of learning process happens a lot in golf as well. And that's kind of a nuanced thing that's really hard to explain to people. But again, most people kind of look at golf and they go, oh, just tell me what to do and I'll go figure it out. And whenever I have a problem, I'll hit you up again. And that's just not really the best way to improve at golf, if that is genuinely the goal. If you want to just learn about something, that's cool too. But, as a coach, I'm going to tell you that, like, hey, yes, I have a business incentive to see you more often. But also I have a professional incentive to see you more often, because you're going to actually get better the more I see you. It's like the more you go to the gym, the more results you get, right? If you do it functionally, if you do it efficiently, if you do it with a plan.
So if somebody's like brand new, how often should they be taking lessons?
I would want that probably once a week, max twice, minimum twice a month. Right? I don't want you out there because you're so new, you don't know what's good and what's bad.
Yeah.
So like what I don't want is to give someone like a lesson and then they go out and spend 27 hours hitting golf balls without me before I see them again. Right?
The wrong way.
Because they will just start doing stuff they don't even know they're doing, and because they only have some certain level of information, and the whole syndrome where the less you know, the more you think you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And
well, actually, I've heard other people say, like, a lot of people say practice makes perfect, but it doesn't. Perfect practice makes
perfect. Makes practice. But how do you define perfect practice, really? How do you define perfect practice?
You practice the right way and the right thing.
If there's a very specific template, like we could have perfect practice for how to bake a cake.
Yeah.
I love analogies, by the way. I don't know if you can tell that, right? But like the perfect practice, right? It's a systematic thing. It's all measured. I love eating it, dude. I love baking it. I love thinking about it. But like my point is, like, there's a systematic process to it, and you could practice getting the right amount of all the ingredients, mixing it the right way, and becoming an expert at baking a fucking cake. Something simple like that. That is a very simple example, but the process of how you go about learning how to do it and learning about it, and the differences of result that you can get based on the quality of your process is like kind of similar. It's probably a boiled down version. I'm sort of making this up as I go, but I feel like the analogy sort of translates.
For sure.
We're talking about golf, and so in my head, every time you start talking, I start thinking about my swing. I go into it. I was like, okay, he's coaching me. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's like the thing that you talk about the perfect practice, and like again with Golf Tech, what's great about them is like the last thing that we worked on with my drive. It's like it felt like I was doing a certain thing, and then but where my hand was coming down was like off by 6-8 inches,
right? And
being able to, like, I was telling Brian, it's like being able to see that on the video, like you can sit there and replay and stuff like that. It's got your little digital line,
yeah.
Like that's what I think is like makes it so much easier to get better faster.
Yeah,
like,
that, and you're also getting a lot more done a lot faster. So, like, a lot of people don't realize that, like, normally you have to have someone else there, or you have to have a camera on a tripod, and you have to kind of set it up, get the angle right, make sure everything's good with the camera angle. Then you have to go back there, hit record, run up, hit your shot, go back, do that, right? Then you have to move the camera to the front. Make sure the angle's good, hit record, run over there, hit another shot, right? And then you can kind of go slow-mo and look at the side view and the front view cameras. And then you need something to compare it to, right? How do I know what's good and what's bad if I don't really know what I'm looking at other than my golf swing, right? So hypothetically, say someone knew how to get good angles, which they never do. Say someone knew how to edit their video to get the slow-mo on the proper part of the video. They never do. Say they got all of that and they were able to put it into like a golf analysis software program that they were able to pull up a comparative pro or a comparative swing or some sort of a model that they want to compare how their movement is against, someone of a much higher skill level. Say they got to that point. Okay. Then how would they know what they're seeing? How would they know what they're looking at? How to correlate the stuff that they see and correlate that to the resultant ball flight that they're getting or the resultant problems that they're having in their game, rather than just looking at something and describing it. Oh, his club went in behind him. Oh, his backswing was slow. Oh, what does that correlate to? How is that information useful to you? What is that going to help with your game, right? So like there's still, even though we're getting that feedback from the video immediately, there's still some bigger level of education that you have to have as a golfer to know what you're looking at. So it helps you start to train your mental image, which helps you start to train sort of your mental map, which helps you create sort of the template of how to do this thing in your head clearer. That then allows your brain to recruit the better muscles and the better, body segments at the better rates at proper times to help you learn these skill sets faster because you have a much clearer picture of what you're trying to do. It's like if I know already how to spell all of the words and I know where all of the keys are, my process of typing that, I don't know where these analogies are coming from, but the same thing with golf, right? Is that like people move the ball, but they don't have enough information to start off with.
What happens is like, especially
before they get into the process of the practice.
There's so many things that people say like in golf. So keep your head down, do
dogmatic,
this, do that,
cliches. And this is what I mean by factually based.
They could mean what someone translates that into their own head. Like I think I told you, my dad used to tell me swing towards 1 o'clock.
Sure, completely subjective.
And now it's like, no, we're going for 3%. It's like it's a little bit more specific, and it's like it's the 1 o'clock is like it's so wide. Like who knows? It's like
what toward 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
Swing what toward 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
When am I swinging the what that you're mentioning toward 1 o'clock? I'm assuming he's talking about the club head.
Yeah.
But is he talking about swinging your hands toward 1 o'clock, or just the club head, or both? And then when he says 1 o'clock, does that mean at impact he wants the club moving out toward 1 o'clock, or is it just back here it's going toward 1 o'clock, or past the ball am I going toward 1 o'clock? And then how long is it staying on that 1 o'clock route for? Does it ever curve off? These are the details, right? Like how much sugar am I putting in the cake? How much chocolate am I putting in the cake? I get that there's sugar and there's chocolate in there. I get that there's a golf club and there's a 1 o'clock in there, right? But like, again, these are the details people need to get good at golf. But they want to, in my professional experience as a coach, and I just kind of apologize in general if this makes anybody mad, but in general, people know enough to be dangerous, and that allows them to think they know. It's like the guy that walks into Home Depot. It's like, I know more than you. I already know what I need to get better at. Just tell me, and that's fine. I'm happy to help you get to a point where you understand this process a little bit better. It might take a little more explanation, but in my almost going on 2 decades of doing this professionally, the more people can kind of learn up front and the better of a knowledge base they have before they even start putting in all of the effort and the energy and the practice and all that stuff, the better results they get. Because once you know it better, you don't have to think about it as much while you're trying to do the thing.
Yep.
The fact that you don't know it makes people think that thinking about your golf swing is bad because, I hit it bad because I was thinking too much. I hear that all the time. I didn't keep my head down.
Too many things.
I did. Again.
What 3 things are you looking at?
Again, right? The better I know something, the less I have to think about it. The more I can use those facilities for something else, right? And, there's sort of a big, process in golf that involves the education part, and then the sort of learning and the beginning to build the skill sets part, and then there's the calibrating and coordinating those skill sets and improving the level of efficacy and the level of ability to do stuff. And then there's being able to do it under the gun whenever you need it. There's so many different levels to this, and that's the thing I love about golf. It's infinitely complex. And then you talk about the chasm between the words that I have to use to try to describe this process to someone else and what they actually hear and what they actually perceive. There's a whole other gap there, regardless of just the mechanics that I have to try. These complex mechanics and complex sort of concepts that you want to relay simply, you take at their level as a brand new golfer. I might only start with the concept of like, hey, the first most important thing for you to learn is how to move the ball. I don't care how far it goes, how high it goes, what direction it goes. I just want you to move the ball, right? So your very first step for you to be able to play any level of golf is to be able to swing that club head through space and make contact with the ball.
What club do you
I don't know, pitching wedge, something short, a wedge, right? So when the club face has a lot of loft on it, that helps the ball get up into the air the fastest. And the sooner golfers see ball go up in the air, the sooner they get addicted to golf.
You say guys like to see things go up?
Yeah, so do women, in my experience. So, but yeah, like that's really kind of how golf starts, and there's golf it's a very complex motion with, overlapping, mechanical things going on, right? And overlapping systems that are required. And a lot of people just figure this stuff out through anecdotal, knowledge, experience of others, trial and error, and they learn their own little personal system for doing it. It does not make it very efficient.
It don't make it the right system.
Yeah, but if you just do this every single day for 20 years, you can get a lot better at golf.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're going to have a plateau somewhere. It's generally the people that do that don't end up being very good at golf. They just play golf, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And some people are happy with that, and that's fine. And so when I get a brand new golfer in front of me, I'm always just like, what you want out of golf is probably going to change in the next couple of years. But, for the first year, what do you want? Like, what do you want? And they're just like, I just want consistency. That's what they always say. I want consistency. I'm like, well, yeah, you go to a restaurant and say, I want food. Like, which one? Like, why are you inconsistent? Do you not hit the ball? Can you not control the dip? Oh, I'm new to golf. Oh, so you don't know anything. Cool. Let's start at the ground. Here's how you hold it. Here's how you set up to it. Here's what impact means. Here's what contact means.
See, that's what I need.
Here's how the ball gets up in the air.
Yeah.
Start people with that and just let them start to get good at that, right? But no, they want to go and grab the driver and put it on a tee and swing as hard as they can and not learn about any of that stuff. And that is probably
one thing I've learned. There's so many moving parts in a golf swing.
Yeah, that's the complex, right?
So it's
right.
And I told Ken, like, I ended up hurting my foot yesterday.
Yeah, it gets
like
too
the
big
ball
to control.
on my foot, like
it gets too big to control at some point, right? And so that's why you really want to start small. And my favorite way to teach new golfers golf, like real golf. Shout out to Operation 36. Only like golf pros will know what that means, but basically. When you're brand new to golf, every hole, like when you go play, they basically have a distance system where you earn your golf course based on your skills level. So the first level is basically like you drop a ball at 50 yards and you played 9 holes in a row. They're all 50 yards long and you have to make a 4 on every hole. So 9 holes, 36. You have to break 36 from 50 yards. Every hole's 50 yards, right? Once you do that, you drop a ball at 100. You have to break 36 from 100 and then 150 and then 200 and then 250, right? So that way, you don't have these really, really hard clubs to hit, these really long golf courses, you don't have the most difficult version of this game first. That's why the biggest reason people quit golf is from frustration. And that frustration comes from badly set expectations or unrealistic expectations based on concepts and stuff that they don't understand. Based on or their inability to get better because they have other misunderstandings or they can't find the right information as to what is making them bad, right? So, I don't know. It's this whole, like, lifelong mission I've been on to work on the education part of golf. And if you let me, I'll go for hours and hours and hours, but...
No, I think that's funny because John Gruden, the football coach...
Yeah.
Every hole is a par 5 for him.
Yep.
So when he goes into the clubhouse and they go, "How do you do?" He goes, "I shot par."
Yeah.
He goes, "I don't care. I shot 90. They don't know I shot 90."
Right.
The
18 straight bogeys is 90.
and I look at golf. One thing I like about golf is it's such a great. You talking about analogy? It's such a great comparison to like just life, because you don't. I always tell people like when they're going to golf, it's like my game and your game is totally different. We're at two different places in our golf life. You do you, I'll do me, and we'll have a great time. And the same thing, it's like you're having your struggles in golf. There's something that's making golf tough for you. Fucking, that's how life is.
Yep.
There's something that's making life tough for you.
Yep.
And like that, it's really one of the reasons I love golf is because like just like working on it is like the same mindset of working on life, working on anything.
Yeah.
It's like it's one of the hardest things you're ever gonna do. Life is one of the hardest things you're gonna do. But if you just stick with it and practice it and try to be better and be a better person at it, and that's where I think that like I think every golf person should get lessons first, because they shouldn't be on the golf course to piss everybody off by being bad.
Right.
In my opinion. Like, I'm just trying to make my golf round better.
I agree. And again, this is the way that I like to teach golf and the way I like to try to explain golf and what I've experienced in no way, shape, or form is meant to like bash the other ways that people teach. Because there's lots of pros out there that still prefer to just have the charismatic, the friendly, slow nature sort of, good swing there, keep your head down, just really finish. And they like to be more low
really
key.
finish?
And
the worst thing I say is I blocked it. What do you mean blocked it? Like,
again, I don't personally think that it's a very descriptive way of doing your job, personally. But I'm not here to bash the way that anyone makes a living, right? I don't want to get canceled on my first podcast ever. You know what I mean?
There's not that many people watching it. We're going to get some great clips, though. We're going to put it on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I make the point. I came from that frustration where when I tried to figure out this information, when I tried to figure out how to get better at golf, I was getting a lot of the same dogmatic sort of cliches. Dogmatic, not really meaning anything, overly general, low and slow. Finish your backswing. Really
hit down on the ball.
Hit down the ball. Post up. Hit down to make it go up. Like, that is factually incorrect.
Compress the ball.
The more you hit down on the ball, the lower the ball launches. That is 100% proven, scientifically measured by radars. The same thing that measure missiles. I think they can measure golf clubs. And there's no scientific. There's no dimensional universe where hitting down on the ball makes it go more up. What their meanings say is that the club needs to be moving down to get enough under the ball that the ball gets on the face, and the angle of the face and the energy of the club head moving forward makes the ball deflect at that certain angle because of the angle of the face and the energy that the club head is carrying whenever it makes contact. It creates a deflection. That's what actually happens. But it's easier to tell a kid, hey, hit down.
Yeah.
I get it. No problem with that. That's the stuff I was told, and I never got better. I got worse, actually, right? So then I got a lot more information. I learned how to measure stuff, and then I realized that really good golfers have a lot more in common than they do that are different, and really, really bad golfers have a lot more in common than they do different.
What would you say a few of the characteristics of good golfers have in common and bad golfers have in common?
Absolutely. The best golfers, I think this is what is fundamental to the game of golf. Not the grip, not the aim, not the setup. It's all the best golfers in the history of golf, the people who've ever played the game, all make contact the most consistently, the most predictably contact, right? So they're able to control where the club hits the ground and hit the middle of the face. They all hit the ball a reasonable enough distance to have a reasonable chance to score. So they all hit it far enough. They don't have to hit it miles, but we got to be able to do it reasonably fast. And then all good golfers can control or predict to some degree the direction that their ball is going. Contact, distance, direction. Distance and direction in a hierarchical sense are, subordinate to the contact. So without the contact, you cannot control distance or direction, right? So contact is ultimately the best thing, right? And so generally when we talk about the necessity to make contact as the first level to play golf, what we see in really good golfers as far as movement patterns is they tend to stay more forward throughout the swing overall, just in their general location of their body mass. It does not mean the pressure in their feet is not shifting. which is a whole other story. But they tend to stay a lot more centered or in the backswing, and then they move a lot more forward toward the target in the downswing, and they do it earlier, right? And then the width of their swing is typically a lot more consistent, whereas bad golfers tend to bend their wrists and their elbows way too much because their body movement is very inefficient as well, right? So they have a badly coordinated body movement that gets made up for by lots of chaotic wrist and arm movement, and they somehow learn how to self-organize that in a quarter of a second downswing to put the club face on the back of the ball in some way. But all of those extraneous sort of movements and manipulations are somewhat required because it's a system. Because they do all of this funny stuff in the backswing when they load it up, they have to do all this funny stuff in the downswing to kind of like reconcile and make up for it. So if you start changing stuff, the funny stuff in the downswing or the funny stuff in the backswing without some sort of, reconciliatory piece, then the whole thing messes up and it just becomes non-functional. So their bad swing was very inefficient, but it was functional. They can kind of know what they're doing, right? Most of the time. Sometimes it is completely non-functional, right? But there's all this period, this lag period between when they start learning something, when they start changing emotion, to when their skill sets of what they're doing starts showing up. And most people lose it in that time period, if that makes sense. So
it does.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. You asked me the question. Give it to you like I got it.
What would you say is like translating, just getting into like actual golf and stuff like that, like
so better golfers contact distance direction.
Yeah.
And then you're saying what?
Like what are your pet peeves? Like let's get into like just pet peeves like on the golf course and stuff like that.
People getting angry, right? Because 99.999% of golfers don't get paid to play golf. Like the worst day on the golf course is better than anything you have to do otherwise, in my opinion. That being said, I realize that people get disappointed from all the energy and money and time they spend that they want to be good at an activity. But the anger that they show on a golf course is really just an expression for other people so that other people know how much better I think I am than I actually am. Right? I know I can play better than this. So I have an outward angry expression to indicate to you that I am better than I'm playing right now. And I just want you to know that I'm mad about not playing up to my abilities, right? And so it's really just an expression for other people, and other people don't really care. Everyone's not the hero of everyone else's story.
That's a
right?
deep philosophical.
But it's a big pet peeve of mine because I'm like,
I get it. Yeah.
Why do you have an expectation of being good at something that you do not spend a lot of time working at? Right? Most people who get really mad, most people who put in the time and the effort, they understand the process. They understand the variance of this game. They understand how complex and how hard it is. And you see those people tend to be a lot more logical and rational when it comes to, negative outcomes. The people who don't put in the work but have the unrealistic expectations tend to have the most adverse reactions in the heat of battle. And shit pisses me off because I'm like, what reality do you live in? You've put in absolutely no work. You don't know what you're doing. Why do you have an expectation that you're going to be good at this? Because you hit one good shot one time.
See, but that's not just golf. Like that.
But that happens
even
all over
same
the
thing in
world.
real estate. Like,
Yeah.
there's agents all the time that are pissed off because they can't sell anything. They
I
can't
think
get
this is why
clients.
it's a
They
pet
can't do
peeve. I
that.
see it on the golf course. I recognize it other spots in life too. Yeah.
It's like, bro, you didn't make any phone calls. You didn't talk to anybody, but you're mad because you don't have any sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Give me a list.
yeah.
But back to being able to provide factual. Now, if someone was like, dude, I made 150 phone calls. I talked to 98 different people. I've had 76 different opportunities. I have not been able to close the 7 people that were realistic things out of that. And you're like, dude, that's a fucking sick month. I don't care if you didn't close them. If you do that every month, I guarantee your numbers.
But when you have all that info, you can say, all right, well, maybe you didn't do that because you missed saying this here.
Exactly.
Or you
and
missed
you can
this
say, okay,
there.
well, I love that you had all those people. What were you saying? How are those conversations ending? Why were you? Because, like, in my opinion, especially like with my job, my goal at the end of an evaluation when I set up a game plan for someone, I'm trying to say, like, hey, here's the problems in your swing. Here's the reasons why you're not getting to your scoring goal. Over the next 3, 6, 12 months, I think we're going to work on this, and this in your irons, this in your driver, this in your short game, this and this on the golf course. And we're going to, do it out. So my goal at the end of that conversation is to get a yes or no. I just want to know why I'm getting. I don't want the let me go talk to the wife. Oh, I'll get back to you. Oh, like maybe like no. You already knew while you were here today.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's a no. That's totally fine. Hey, this is too expensive for me. Hey, this is more involved than I wanted. No worries. That way, I don't have to keep following up. I can follow up with a, hey, any reconsiders? Let me know, right? But we're good. We're done. We move on. Whereas the other guys are just trying to get out of an awkward conversation. It's not really that awkward. It's like, you know why you're here.
What's the best? Like I coach real estate, so I go through the same stuff as you.
Okay.
And like it's the same thing. Like I tell everybody has that Best Buy mentality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like when's the last time you've been to Best Buy?
I don't know.
And they asked you if you needed help. What did you say?
No, I'm good.
Even though you were there to buy something.
Yeah.
And then you get back there and you're like, I'm getting this computer and I can't find nobody now.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the same stuff.
100%. And because to a certain extent, right? Yeah, I'm there, but a lot of people go there to do research, or they want to know, let me figure out exactly what I want to say and exactly what price this is and exactly what the best discount is. I want to do all that work on my own. And then as soon as I need something, I need you to be right here and give it to me. Mm-hmm. Instead, where they can be like, hey, I need to do all this research, and you probably already know where all these numbers are because you work here. You're the professional here. Give me this. You could probably solve the problem a lot faster.
MacBook.
Exactly, right? And the difference at Best Buy is that they're paid by the company to help facilitate that for you, whereas obviously that is your job as in real estate, is to be like, hey, I'm the person that makes this whole process seamless for you. I know this stuff. I just need this information from you. You know what I mean?
But that's why you need a golf test.
So a lot of that process is setting those expectations along in the process. Like when people call in, I'm just like, hey, we are a golf improvement company where we do mainly coaching packages. Our main commitments are 3, 6, 12 months. And I explain why that is. It's because one-off lessons and incremental information that does not carry a consistent thread does not result in long-term improvement. Right? So our goal is to help our clients have long-term improvement, and we have a very structured way of doing that. And in my professional experience, I have done it multiple ways. It is by far and away the best way to do it. The people who come in and put in the time and get the right feedback and get good information get better. The people who piecemeal it together and try to Best Buy it together, if you will.
Yeah.
They don't. It takes longer for them. It's harder for them until eventually they're like, all right, well, I'm just going to start coming in, more often, and they start getting on board. Eventually.
Until the pain's deep enough.
Once the pain's deep enough, right? And so a big part of that process when I'm receiving someone or giving them the information is like, yeah, this is what we do. But why do you think you need golf lessons to begin with? Like, what is that pain? Oh, your wife beats you. Oh, your wife hits the ball farther than beats you on the golf course. Sorry.
Maybe at home too.
You know what I mean?
You never know. Like
your buddies, your boss is inviting you, and you don't want to embarrass yourself. Like, what is the pain? What is the root cause of that? Right? I can provide the logics of all of the structure of the program and stuff, but really I'm going to get someone in the door and get them into that process and providing them a vision of what they want based on the problems and the pain, frustrations, the pain funnel that they're giving me, if that makes sense. And then when you find that string, it's just kind of like, well, how long has that been an issue? Like, have you tried to solve that before? Like, do you spend how much money on that before? Like, you've been working on this for 6 months, you haven't gotten anywhere with it? Like, yeah. Let me give you my take on this today, and then see where we're at. And when we're done,
the obvious sign is to go buy a more expensive golf club.
Yeah, right. And then I'll be like, and
it fixes everything, right?
Yeah, and that is a lot of people's solutions. They try to kind of buy the game, but especially with fittings and stuff. I try to help people really get what they need, not necessarily what they want. I try to give them what they need, right? Mm-hmm. Not more than they need, what they need, because different levels of different golfer needs different things, and I've done this a lot. I'm really, really good at it. And I'm sorry if that sounds cocky. I come off as cocky to people, but I don't like being
I wouldn't want to coach this not.
Too many people go
I think this works. I think that no, I don't think. Yeah. I know because I'm talking about it because I've measured it and it is a factually correct statement to me.
Well, if anybody wants a non-confident coach, they probably don't need a coach to begin with.
I've been told I'm too cocky for people. And I get that I talk a lot. I get that
some people are just soft.
My explanations are, sort of redundant. Yeah. I get it.
We get you like cake.
But I do love cake. Oh,
that's funny.
So, I don't know. How do the packages work or things like that? Not only is it online conversation, offline, or
Yeah. Like I said, people come in, they bring us their problems, and we look at their swing and kind of draw some cause and effect, and just straight up tell them like, hey, we want to chip away at this stuff for a couple months, and then, oh, I can't hit my irons, my driver sucks, I don't know how to chip, and blah blah blah. I build out kind of the plan for them based off their goals. So if they come in and say, I just want to fix my slice, I don't care about any of the other stuff. Right, I might recommend, say, 3 months of lessons. So, say 10 lessons.
You're done
over 3 months, and then that also comes with 90 minutes of practice per week. So basically, the only difference between lesson and the practice is that you're one-on-one with the coach in your lesson, and but we've already kind of done the research and the baseline of the structure of the schedule. In the analysis, we know what we're working on. So every time I see you, it's very efficient, straight to the point, and it's a lot of guided practice, a lot of getting feedback on how the practice has been going, a lot of helping you learn how to build your own practice station, what to look for in the video, how to practice better on your own in your own time. Because I need an hour a week out of you when I'm not around, of just doing the reps and doing the stuff that I'm teaching you.
And do they do that at your facility or
at our facility? Okay. Yeah, it all has an app. You just go on the Golf Tech app and you find your day. We're open 7 days a week, and it is an all inclusive package. And then all the package also include a fitting, and it's not necessarily to sell people new golf clubs, but it's really more just to make sure that we have some time booked on our process somewhere that we can hit some of the new stuff that's out and compare it to what you have, and just make sure that what you have isn't holding you back. I'm ordering this stuff from the manufacturers as well, just the same way that the golf store down the street is doing it. But I'm your coach. I know you personally. I have a much better idea of what you need, and it's a part of it's a free hour that comes with all of our packages. That helps people at least hit all the new stuff when it comes out for fun. So that's kind of how they work. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Just based on what people need. If they need, a bunch of driver lessons, a bunch of iron lessons, some short game lessons, a couple playing lessons throughout a year, that might be 40 lesson credits or 50 lesson credits, right? Every lesson credit is kind of like a half hour of time with your coach, okay? And then you have a practice plan that is done basically by the month. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, that goes along with those lesson credits that you're using.
Is that like a monthly fee or an upfront cost? Or
it's upfront costs. We do have financing options like a firm, but it's typically a upfront cost. Those are running anywhere from, I don't know, $1,200-$1,300 to $4K for the year. So, but honestly, if you really think about it, like $4K over 12 months for 12 months of coaching, a lesson every week, and 90 minutes of practice a week. It's not, because people are spending $20 for a large bucket of balls.
Yeah,
you're spending $45 an hour for a bay at Topgolf or the other places that rent out bays and stuff, right? So our packages, you can come in, actually have the video from both angles that is instant live feedback on what you're doing, plus the launch monitor that measures all the ball flight, plus all the other technology and the training aids and the stuff that Golf Tech has. It's like the coolest golf nerd / golfer laboratory ever. I'm just such a big fan, obviously, it's totally worth it if people use it. If people don't use it, they're not going to get better, and it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Straight up. So when people walk in, I'm like, hey, do you have a place of practice that has cameras and all this? Oh yeah, I already have my own camera, I have my own simulator. Okay, I'm gonna spend a lot of time in our lessons teaching you what to be looking for when you're practicing on your own. And if it's not getting better, I will recommend that you just come in here and practice for a month. Maybe not buy a whole year practice plan. Maybe just come in and practice in here for a month, so I can be around you while you're practicing more, and maybe just give you a tip here or there as to how to run your own practices better, right? And so I just really try to customize it to what people need based off of what they tell me they want. A lot of times what they actually need is not what they want to hear, though, right? They want to hear that, like, this is an Xbox game, you press, a certain series of buttons and it fixes their problems, and it's just not how the process works.
What you need to hear and what you want to hear are two different things.
Yeah. But again, it's also not in my best interest to lie to people or try to tell them what they want to hear when it's not the truth. Yeah. Because then that also, one, ethically and morally is wrong, but two, it's not going to help them get better, which is ultimately what is the redeeming quality of my reputation. Is that people who work with me get better, and I have, I don't know, awards and reviews and whatever you want to say. I don't care about this stuff. It's all relatively arbitrary. What I know is that I have a personal connection with each and every person I talk to, and I really fucking care. Sorry, excuse my language.
That's okay.
But like, I really, really do.
You're passionate about it.
I'm very passionate about it. It's.
I've got better. I can tell. Like
being a husband, being a father, and being a golf coach are three things that I'm like I am ungodly proud of, and things that I know that I feel like I'm good at, and I'm okay with being called cocky about those things. You'll never hear me bragging about running fast or jumping high. Okay, I can hit the golf ball pretty far, but I don't run fast or jump high. So,
awesome.
So with coaching as much as you do, how often do you get out and actually be able to play yourself?
Dude, maybe twice a month lately.
What's your favorite spot?
We also just had a baby, so that's been a little bit harder.
Congrats. How long ago?
3 months.
Okay, nice. Yeah. We had one 2 months ago.
Oh, nice. Congrats, baby girl.
He's trying to get into golf, and he just had.
Yeah, it's the worst time to do it too.
That's the best time. Get away.
Right. They always say like that year after you have a baby, you have new baby run good, right? And so it's like the best golfing year of your life. That's like the year you make your hole-in-ones and the year you get to do all the lucky shit.
I haven't got an
Hasn't happened to me yet.
I've never had a hole-in-one. You have a hole-in-one?
I have one hole-in-one at San Pedro. I chipped a little gap wedge from like 80 yards with one of my students who I was playing with that day. And like with just one hop, hit the pin and went in. And it was so funny because like 2 holes before, I was just telling him that I've played golf for 20 plus years, 25 years, and I've never had a hole-in-one.
I've never had one.
And granted, it's only 80 yards, and it was a little chippy one, but, you know, whatever.
I don't expect
Hey,
to.
it counts.
I've holed out from the fairway a bunch of times.
I've never holed out from the fairway.
I've holed out from the fairway a bunch of times. I've holed a bunch of chip shots. I've holed a bunch of long putts. I just never made a hole-in-one on like a real golf hole on a row.
Chip shots, sand shots.
I made a hole-in-one on the white. Technically, my first hole-in-one ever was at Topgolf on the white flag. I had a right-handed 9-iron. I flipped it upside down and I hit it left-handed.
Nice.
Right? I don't know why I did that. I think I was in we were in a some sort of an event, like a corporate event, and I would always the whole job of the director of instruction there, the golf pro at Topgolf, and you always got hired on all the corporate events. So make sure like the event's running, help people with their golf swing, help people run the games. But really, I was almost like just like a party host that had really cool golf tricks. So the people, it's basically the guys in the company were over there hitting some golf balls, drinking beers, hanging out, and all the ladies were sitting over at the bar, you know, doing their thing most of the time. And all of a sudden I'd hit a couple balls and be like, oh, do this. Oh, you're the pro. Oh, do this. And then, you know, these guys would get drunk and then they'd want to see some trick shots. And so I did one day and it took a bounce right in front, took one hop, hit the flag, and then rolled right down the stick into the metal cup. And that was technically my first hole-in-one, but it's not really hole-in-one, you know. But it was cool. It was
more than
cool.
I got.
Yeah. Very, very lucky in that regard. But
well, as we wrap this up, we always ask everybody 2 questions.
okay.
The
Enough time.
Yeah. So where is your go-to spot for breakfast tacos?
Man, lately it's been a lot of tacos and salsa.
Where's that at?
There's one right here at Military and
604.
It's kind of Military and
Wurzbach Parkway, kind of like up in there, right?
yeah, Military and Wurzbach Parkway, but the one Lock Hill Selma or whatever.
Yeah.
It's up there. You know where Pam's Patio Kitchen and like that Milano's Grill or whatever. It's up in there. They have a thing called a trash can taco that's pretty good. It's like eggs, bacon, chorizo, potato, beans, and cheese. Yeah, it's trash can taco. Everything in there. And carne guisada in there, too. And it's delicious. It's a lot. You only need one. You only need one. Then otherwise, Bill Miller's, obviously. Just smash some Bill Miller's tacos.
And the other thing, we always favorite burger place.
Ooh, Mr. Juicy.
Okay.
The one on military right here.
Do you live in that area?
Yeah, I live Military in Wurzbach.
Oh, okay.
Like right across the street there.
That's
Mr.
the right
Juicy
answer.
is
That is
absolutely
the right answer.
It's no question, Mr. Juicy.
We've had the owner on a couple times.
Yeah,
Andrew. Yeah. Good guy.
that's amazing. Yeah, I'm a big foodie. I love food.
Have you been to
I
his
love
new
cake.
restaurant?
No, I haven't.
Was it Max's sister?
Max's sister.
It's good.
No, but I'm gonna go.
It's right
It's
there.
right there at the lawn.
Okay.
Should be by the where the
Yeah.
Hayden used to be.
Okay, right on.
By Almeida Soul and all that shit.
Right on. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on, man. So
gonna be
so
awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for
He's
Yeah.
gonna be your new student.